focus is something that will change your life. Now, there are books written about focus. You can go buy a bunch of them if you want, and then a lot of them are really good. I'm not saying anything wrong with them. In the end, though, you need to understand that focus will change your life if you understand how to focus. Now, I think that a lot of people see focus as other mental faculties, as other things that you can use your mind for, like imagination or intuition. I'm going to be talking about different mental faculties, confidence, different things. People believe that we're almost born with it or you're not, and that's not true at all. You were not born with focus. You learned focus over a period of time. Some people that have a lot of focus have trained themselves to focus. I'll give you an example with time, because time is such an important aspect of our lives, such an important commodity. I hear people all the time say, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, I'll make some time, I'll try to find some time. Time is something that we speak about wrongly all the time. No pun intended there. In the end, what I want you to understand here is that if you are focused, you will get far more done in your time than other people who are not focused. Really quick example, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is changing the world in his time, okay? In the same 24 hours that you have every single day, he's changing the world. He's created multi-billion-dollar companies. So how does he do that and have the time for that when you or me or whoever doesn't have the time for that? Well, the fact is we all have time for whatever we're going to use it for. And if we use it well, if we use it, I'm not going to use the word efficient, but if we use it, we learn to use time in a really unique way, it can be everything that we want for it, all right? Or want from it. So with focus, what I want to say is, think about my hand. This is an example that I give everyone all the time. Think about my hand right here, okay? I was recently in Maui. If you look at my hand I was maybe sitting out in the sun, how long do you think it took for my hand to burn? Full sun, Maui, middle of winter in Canada, where I'm coming from, it took probably a few hours that first day to get it burning, maybe a couple of hours, okay? That's how long it took. Now, if I take that same amount of sunlight, and I have a magnifying glass that size, and I back it up 18 inches from my hand, how long does it take now to burn my hand? Less than a couple of seconds, right? It's the same amount of sunlight. The same amount of sunlight. And yet it's taking far less time to burn my hand, to get done whatever. I don't know if its purpose is to burn my hand, but you know what I mean, right? Now, what it's set out to do. What's the difference? The difference is simply focus. It's taking the same amount of sunlight and focusing that. And people who are successful with their time, with their energy, with their exercise routines, with their relationships, all of these people, I'm going to stay away from the word efficient, because efficient has the connotation that you're doing things that leave relationship off the table. You don't get a fullness out of them. And that's not true, okay? If you are focused with your time and focused with your energy and focused with your relationships, focused with your money, if you're focused with all those things, magic starts to happen, because you go much further with the same amount. With the same amount of time, you get more done. With the same amount of energy, you get more done. I'll give you a really quick example. Anyone that started a big business, what have they done with their energy? They've multiplied it. They've focused their energy on hiring people rather than doing work. And as they hire people to do their work, they now have 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 1,000 people working for them, right? So all of these people are now doing the work, and they now have more time, energy for other things. It's a really quick example. With money, if you focus your money on the most important things in your life, if you focus it on investing in your future, and if you invest in your own education so that you can make more money, more importantly, if you have great safe investments that work for you and work for your money rather than you working for it, you're not trading your time for money anymore. Now your money's trading money for itself, and it's growing for you. And now you've got a real estate portfolio or whatever, and it's growing for you behind the scenes. And amazing things happen. All of a sudden, I was teaching my daughter this yesterday. We were playing some games, and she said, this is my 8-year-old. She basically said, well, listen, so if I do these things, by the time I'm 18, 19, 20 years old, I buy my first property, and I reinvest the money over and over and over again, and I have other people renting it from me, whether it's fellow college students or whatever, then I can retire at this age, and I can have 8, 10 properties. Yes, you can do that in the same amount of time with the same amount of money that people use to buy vehicles and clothing or whatever, right? It's simply focus. If you focus your money on Miss Vicky's potato chips and, I don't know, pay-per-view, then you're not going to get the same amount out of it, all right? What's another example of it with focus? We talked about time, we talked about money, we talked about energy. I'm going to give you a tip maybe, okay? Here's a tip. There's a great book written by Gary Keller. It's called The One Thing. In that book, he gives a concept that a lot of really successful people have been using for a very long time, and that is focus on the one thing that is most important for you for a set period of time every day. So I'll give you an example. If you want to start a new business, you don't have any time because you're working 40 hours a week and you've got family and soccer and, well, if that's the case, then start by focusing 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day. Everyone has 15 minutes a day. Unless you are awake for 24, everyone has 15 minutes, okay? Legitimately, everyone has. If you don't have 15 minutes, then there's something wrong in your life, okay? So 15 minutes a day, focus that concerted effort, 15 minutes on building a business. Every day, 7 days a week. You can do it 5 days a week, you can decide, but do it consistently. Then what you want to do is move that up to 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. And you know what, as you start making money from that business, now you can start toning down other things. Okay? As you start making money, you can quit your job, you can do other things, and now you've got more time. And the ideal is to be spending like 4 hours, a set, focused 4 hours of your time every day on what you love, and you are going to make it really, really beautiful in your life. Another idea here is that when you are focusing on things, when you're focusing on this one thing for 4 hours, a lot of people are not focused in that time, okay? So they set it apart, but then they don't really get everything out of those 4 hours that they can get. And here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. I want you to set aside 15 minutes. Again, start with 15 minutes and focus on one thing. Turn your phone off, turn your computer off, all technology, clock the door, no one's bothering you, make sure that you're in your own space, and focus on one task for 15 minutes and see what happens. See what happens. Read for 15 minutes. I mean, not fiction. Read something, I mean, there's some good fiction out there too, but read something of value that's going to make you think, okay? 15 minutes. And what I'm going to guarantee you is that if you're able to focus for 15 minutes, your mind's going to start going in all these different directions. I do this every single morning. Every single morning I focus for a set period of time so that I can learn as much as I want. And one of the problems is that we think we can multitask. No one can multitask, by the way. You can see brain imaging that shows you that no one can multitask, okay? But when we multitask, our mind's here, and then it's here, and then it's here, and then it's here, and it's like RAM for a computer. It's jumping all over the place, and it's starting to get overwhelmed. It starts to get overheated, right? It starts to slow down. That's what happens for us. Focus on one task, complete it, move to the next task, complete it, move to the next task, and you're going to get far more out. So here's another tip. I want you to write down every day. Write down 3 or 4 things. 3 or 4 things that are the most important things that day. Not necessarily the most urgent, the most important. And then as you see those, list them 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, and then focus on the first one until it's done. And focus on the second one until it's done. What's going to happen is as we focus on one thing for a period of time, our entire mind is just focused on that thing, and we're able to get far more ideas out of ourselves. We're able to be far more creative in our abilities. We have been trained in our culture. Go back and look at a movie from 1950, and the scenes are like 3-minute long scenes, okay? Then watch a movie that came out last week, and what you'll find is that the scenes are like a few seconds long. And one of the problems with that is that it's trained our minds to think in 1, 2, 3 second increments. Study done a few years ago that said that North Americans, or Americans in general, have been conditioned now to have the focus of less than a goldfish, less than like 8 seconds. That's sad, but we've trained ourselves that way. The beauty of that, we can train ourselves the other ways, okay? So what I want you to do right now is focus. Maybe I'll give you another tip, okay? If you're having trouble focusing, if your mind races all over the place all the time, what I would recommend is focus on one thing for 30 seconds. Focus on your breathing for 30 seconds and how your body moves as you are breathing. Your chest, your shoulders, your diaphragm, your back, your neck, your throat. Feel everything in your body. Feel the air going in, feel the air going out. Focus only on that. And honestly, you might have to start off with 5 or 10 seconds because our mind's going to wander. But as you practice focusing on your breathing for 30 seconds, and then a minute, and then 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, over a period of a few weeks, what you're going to find very quickly is you will have greater focus. You'll be able to stay focused on one task for a certain period of time. There are other examples how you can do this. You can focus on anything. Okay, you can focus on have a fire in your fireplace or while you're camping or whatever, and focus on that fire, or a candle. Focus on the flame. Start with 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. If your mind wanders, that's fine. Simply bring it back. That bringing it back, that wandering and bringing back, is what is developing your ability to focus, okay? So as you do that, as you get into this more and more, you're going to do well. I'd like to see your comments and thoughts on this. I'm happy to do another video on focus if you do want more help on this. These are the top of my mind thoughts for the moment, okay? So go out and try some of these activities. Tell me how it's going. My clients consistently say, hey, listen, when I do these things, not when I hear these things, when I do them, things change for the better. Enjoy.